Boys. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Do I Want to Know with your hosts, Marc and Mitch. This is presented by Wells Infused Vodka Lemonade as always, and part of the TSB Network. We have a great show for you guys today. We have Marc's friend who is playing baseball in Northern Iowa, but let's Marc give him a proper introduction. So let me introduce my co-host here. As always, you know who he is. 365, Rocky. Everybody loves Marc. Marc Vicioso. What's up, Marc?
What's up, Mitch? You know, got the TSB hoodie. You know what it is.
I see that.
Out here.
That's
and
right,
I'm excited.
Man.
I'm very excited for the guest I have today. So
yes.
For people that don't know, it's episode 7 today.
Episode 7.
With episode 7, we wanted to get some more of a sports guy because, as we're going to talk about in a bit, we're starting to expand our network. And we thought, hey, do we even have a baseball show? We don't really have a baseball show.
We don't.
But I do have a friend that plays baseball in the States, and he is actually one of my best friends from high school.
Wow.
Great athlete, great guy, great personality. His name, Francesco Barbieri, and he's going to be our guest today, talking about his journey at Northern Iowa Area Community College. And it's a JUCO in the States. JUCO, for people that don't know, junior college. Mm-hmm. You stay there, and as you go on and progress in your career, you can go on and become a Division I athlete, Division II athlete, and that's what he's striving to do right now. And I'm very excited about that, Mitch.
And Marc, like you said as well, TSB Network is expanding. We had shows like the Ball Board, Above the Ice already on our network, but we decided to add 2 more shows to it, and that is the Footy Fix with our very own Ben Botehlo, who does our intro music and was our first guest on the show, and the Round Table, which is an all-around sports show that myself and 2 of my buddies from high school are actually running as well. So they joined the network. So we're really excited about that as well. But you know what, Marc? Let's put this all away, the TSB network, everything away for a second, and let's run this episode, man. You ready?
Yeah. Ben, run that intro.
Let's do it.
Do I want to know is the question I'ma ask. I'm diving in deep, it's like a blast from the past. New guests every week, is that enough for your ass? Cause these men's have us chill, you best grab a coat. You can't handle the questions, you best leave the show. It's Mitchell Cairns and Marc Vicioso, the 2 kingpins like Chewy and Solo.
And now let's welcome our guests in today. We got Marc's friend all the way from Northern Iowa, man. We got Franco, man. Franco, what's up, buddy?
How's it going? Thanks for having me, guys. Just want to say I've been watching you guys from day one, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Already on my good side, man. Already on my good side. That's what I love to hear.
I wish one day we should re-air the pre-show meetings and then just show. If Franco was in the interview process, I think right now we'd get the job.
Yeah, off the bat, man.
Look at that. For all future guests, if you're watching this, hoping to get on the network, look at the setup. There's a hat there. There's a baseball. He's got. You can see the logo perfectly. It's just. It's all great.
Always ready to go. Always ready to go.
I love it.
Take
so Franco,
notes, guys. Take notes.
Franco, for the guests that don't know you, I don't want to be like that interview guy. Be like, who are you? But who are you? Why are you in Northern Iowa? What do you do? What's your story?
For starters, my name is Francesco Barbieri. I'm 20 years old. I'm going into my sophomore year at North Iowa area. I play baseball. I'm on the baseball team here. I'm studying kinesiology. Once again, going into my second year of kinesiology. The reason I'm here is to pursue my baseball dream. You know, just the plan is to go pro one day, and hopefully with the right amount of work, I'll be able to achieve that dream.
I love it.
That's what we want to hear.
With you being in Northern Iowa and you see everything, it's the channels. I know they're sort of messed up, but like, have you been able to catch any Blue Jays games lately at all?
No Jays games are aired anywhere near here. I got ESPN Plus, so sometimes they're on ESPN Plus. If not, I'm watching them on a stream on my laptop.
I love it. But Frankie, I'm gonna bring in Frank the Tank Ieantorno here.
Yeah, we're gonna make it Frankie, not Franco. It's Frankie, our producer.
Yeah, so we got Franco, we got Frankie, we got all the mans. Yeah. Frankie, big Jays fan.
Yes,
Franco, what are your thoughts on the Jays right now, the Jays roster as it's currently constructed? I'm asked that to Francesco Barbieri.
I think as of right now, the way they're currently constructed is a very exciting lineup, obviously very young. So you don't know how things are going to go, but I think it's a lineup that plays fearlessly. You know, they don't care who's on the other side. They're always going to come out and play their best baseball. So I think this is the most the most exciting baseball Blue Jays roster we've had since 2015 is what I would say.
Are they good enough to make the playoffs and actually like sustain a run though?
I think they are definitely good enough to make the playoffs. I think that playoff baseball, the pressure in playoff baseball is absolutely enormous, but who knows? You can't really tell, especially with professional sports. There's upsets all the time. You don't know what's going to happen.
Definitely. What about you, Frankie?
So I 100% agree. A very exciting young team. A lot of young talent coming up. Naturally, there's going to be some growing pains. You see it with Guerrero, especially a little bit in the beginning. But ultimately, he's starting to heat up, and you could tell they're definitely building towards something special. I mean, whenever you have a guy like Nate Pearson who can starter and can easily throw over 100 miles per hour, you're looking at something nice right there. Young stud like Bo Bichette breaking records for rookies or second-year players, and it's just tremendous.
Yeah, but he's hurt now, is he not?
He is currently hurt, but in baseball, typically, not this year, but typically it's a long season. So, naturally guys will always miss a few games here and there.
Well,
Exactly.
I kind of think with the Yankees in play, the Jays don't really have a shot right now. That's
See, now Mitchell Kieran's like, come on now. The Yankees.
Buddy, you guys see this team, man.
Great team
They're very
construction.
stacked.
But the Yankees, this isn't 1999. This isn't 2009. This is 2020.
This is 2020, and they have a stacked team.
Exactly.
Listen, the Jays are going to be here for a long time. Just watch.
Wow.
Okay. All right, man.
Hopefully, by this time, 2025, we have a new Blue Jays center fielder right here, Francesco Barbieri.
Maybe we'll see.
Bro, that would be amazing to see.
That'd be a great. And then
Amazing.
we can run this
back right here, 2025, another episode.
Oh, of course. So you're coming back right
Oh,
on.
buddy,
Okay,
you
that's
think it's
right.
gonna be 5 years till we bring you back, but you're coming on every year, man. Every year, at least once. Every year, at least once.
All right. Thanks for the insight, Frankie. We'll see you back later on in the show for Frank's thoughts, eh? I love it. So, Franco, we just want to get in and we want to talk to you. Obviously, you love the show. You watch the show, and we just like to have a conversation here. And with you in Iowa for baseball, we sort of wanted to get to know sort of the American culture and the American side of things. So in America, for people that don't know, because some of our audience, we're obviously a sport network, but a lot of our audience doesn't know much about sports, or our audience in particular wants to know more about sports. So in America, baseball is the national pastime.
Definitely.
It's what they do there. It's been called that from way back from the 40s. People played that, and it's called American pastime for a reason. But I was wondering with you, and you obviously came up through the Canadian ranks, the Canadian baseball system. What do you think are the main differences at play between America and Canada baseball? And do you think that it's at all more important in America? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that sports in general are more important in America. It's just that's where the money is fed into. I think in Canada we focus a lot more on academics and a different side of university life per se. In terms of baseball, the differences between Canada and the USA, I would have to say it's the technology and the coaching, right? I think baseball is an up and coming sport in Canada. I wouldn't say it's a very popular sport. That's all dependent on how the Jays do. If the Jays are good, people are going to want to play baseball and watch baseball. If they suck, nobody really cares.
It's
right?
kind of what happened with the Raptors in
Exactly.
basketball in Canada.
Exactly. So that's a major influence, especially with the Blue Jays being the only Canadian team, right? With that being said, I think that the USA does a much better job in terms of training their players, right? It's just they're ahead of the game. They're the guys that set the standard, right? And the rest of the world is usually following. But with that being said, Canada has been, the last decade or so, has been making leaps, and that's part of the reason why I'm here, right? I was able to have amazing coaching, met amazing people throughout the ranks in Canada, and I'm forever grateful for that.
And I think that's another thing about the American, and not even just the pastime that is baseball, but as you said, basketball, soccer, hockey. Of course, in Canada, we know U Sports, and U Sports it's a good league for what it is.
Marc, no one cares about you sports. I'll be dead.
And exactly, that's what people say. Nobody cares because first off, it's not on the same level of quality at all, and secondly, it's just what you put in and the athletes. When you go to Canada for a sport, as you said, it's coming in for more education. And I think at NIACC, you can see, as you said, Franco, the technology there, it's beautiful. And even at such a junior college level, that's what they're already giving you such a platform to go up into. But in Canada, it's almost high school, and then youth sports, and it's a tougher leap. Would you agree, Franco?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I think that I don't want to say the athletes in youth sports are necessarily not as good as the ones in Canada, but I think that they have to prioritize their time to different things. So they don't always get to focus on their craft or their sport, which kind of takes away from their time to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But Mitch, when you look at everything there and you look at the American system, do you think that baseball is just as important in Canada still, like in terms of basketball and hockey? And do you think it will ever make that leap back into the main top four discussion?
I think Franco said it best. It's whatever their major league team is doing well, or if they're doing well, if they're not. I remember in 2015 when we had Edwin, Bautista, Donaldson, Tula, all these guys. I am not the biggest baseball fan. I was all into baseball. I was playing outside with my dad. I was watching every single Blue Jays game, all 9 innings. Then all of a sudden, when the team started, I'm pretty sure it's Ross Atkins started getting rid of everybody, it kind of dropped off. And I feel like that's when baseball in Canada started to drop off as well, at least in my opinion. But like we said, once the Jays start becoming that powerhouse team, like how the Raptors have shown winning the championship this year and getting that recognition around the world, not just from Canada, I think that's when baseball starts to move up the ranks. I still think hockey runs Toronto at least, but basketball's on the uprise. And then I have to go with, I think, soccer after, because TFC's been doing pretty well with their ranks in the MLS. And then I would go with the Blue Jays.
And you saw, obviously, like a big shout out to Footy Fix. You saw what Alphonso Davies is doing in the Champions League with Bayern Munich.
Definitely.
And that's definitely going to bring more fans and say, if Alphonso Davies, a kid from Canada, from Toronto area, where is he from? Markham? I think he's somewhere in Canada, and now he's playing for one of the top clubs in Europe. That's only going to happen.
People are saying, like, it's like, I've seen graphics online, but like it's Messi, and then it's him, and I'm like,
I don't know.
Like, what?
Different positions, Mitch.
I was about to say, I didn't think that was right.
But like that topic, and obviously, and baseball, it's going to be around for a long time. It's been around for years past. It's going to be there for years after. Mm-hmm. But also on this podcast, we don't always like to talk about sports. We do, but there's other parts to it. And I was telling Mitch, Francesco Barbieri, you have a fire TikTok. Oh. Would I be wrong by saying no?
I think it's pretty good. No, I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
Is it?
I think it's pretty good. I'm not going to bash my own
TikTok. What's your like, everyone has their own style, their own niche. What is yours? Is it like funny videos? Is it dancing videos? Is it like video highlight videos? Like, what is it?
I'm a big dancer, big TikTok.
Really?
That's what I'm doing. You know, like
you got,
that's
you got all that. You got the
all of it. Any type of trend you think of. Like, it started in March when school got canceled. I didn't have anything to do. The baseball season wasn't going on, so downloaded TikTok. Next thing you know, it was a big.
Have you done that? Romeo, take me somewhere we can be. That one, have you done that yet?
No, I haven't done that one, but I'll definitely put it in the list. I guarantee.
Definitely, you gotta do that. That's, I think, my favorite trend right now. I think it's a pretty good one. But let's get a little bit more serious talking about TikTok. Why do you think it is so like big right now, like so famous? Like, why now in 2020? I think it helped with quarantine because people are on their phones all day. They can't go outside.
But it was even taking off a bit before then, Mitch.
But why is it like that? Why was it TikTok? Because there's other social media platforms out there. There's YouTube that's been out for a while, Instagram. All these have videos on it. But why is TikTok the one?
I think the reason TikTok has the platform it has now is because any one of your videos can go viral. And I think that's very addicting because that's kind of how I got into it, right? I see one of my videos has 300,000 views. It wasn't a dancing video. It was just like me running down the stairs, catching a piece of paper.
No. That's not why. It wasn't just you running down. It was him running down the top of our high school steps. He dropped the attendance sheet down. Then he ran all the way from the top 3rd floor down to the 1st floor. But the caption is what made it. He said, "Genetics help." Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, once that was one of my first videos, and once that took off, I was like, damn, like I'm gonna try and start making more. And I think that's the big thing. Any one of your videos can go viral, and it's just everybody wants to do it, right?
Yeah. What do you think about this whole Trump versus China thing? How like Trump's saying, you know what, China's taking our American personal information. If Microsoft doesn't buy it, bye TikTok. What do you think about that?
I mean, if that's true, then I guess he's doing the right thing. I don't know if it is true. But I mean, hey, I heard Microsoft might be buying it, so I mean, that's more money.
I think Microsoft is the only company that can come in and save the day for all these TikTok stars, man.
Exactly.
It's right. And that's more money to the US, so I think it's all
exactly.
It's all
Like
business.
the thing is though, what I think about that is like the US already knows everything about everyone. Why do they need like more? You know, like why do they need more? I don't think they need it. So what? China knows like your TikTok dances. Like they know what you like. Big deal. Like I don't think that's a big deal. And I think with TikTok too, is that our attention span is so short now that like you get that 6-second video and it's next.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're on for an hour. Like I think that's what the huge thing with TikTok is. What do you think, Marc?
I think, yeah, definitely that's the thing. And also what China, I think, is wanting to do by this is just sort of irritate almost and just almost give them that type of thing. But not to get too political, but it's just like that's what they – I'm not going to get political at all here. That's not what's going to happen. But China and TikTok, they obviously had that thing. And when the Chinese government bought it, they knew what they were doing. And it was almost like a distraction. Like they wanted to give US and like so 18-year-olds can go on TikTok and shake their ass and get 1 million views. And then everybody, the local schmucks at home, they don't think about like, I got to go get a job, got to do this. Low-key smart strategy by China there. Low-key smart strategy.
Is that what you think it is?
I don't know, but like it's a funny scheme if it is.
All right, Marc, first let's get your TikTok username so whoever is watching this can go follow you, man. What is it?
Same thing as my Instagram, same thing as my Twitter at FrancoBarbz. So Franco and then BARBZ at the end. So
you got his Instagram, you got his TikTok, and he got his Twitter. Like, look at that.
Exactly.
Right.
But before we move on from the TikTok topic, Franco, when you see like obviously TikTok took off and it's here now and it's probably here to stay despite the Microsoft stuff that we just talked about. But do you think it's actually more harmful than like Instagram? So like when we were in high school, it was like, yo, did you get Instagram? Or people had Instagram. But I wouldn't say it was harmful for us. Like you grew up, it wasn't that harmful for you. But do you see TikTok being a bit more harmful, at least to like little kids, 10, 14, than Instagram, Twitter, Facebook was?
I think if anything, TikTok is probably safer just because a lot of the content that is on there is more family friendly. I feel like when you went on Facebook back in the day, there was a lot of stuff that maybe you weren't supposed to see. Whereas on TikTok, a lot of little kids are on there just watching dances and funny videos. Like I think it's an all-in-one stuff. I think it's the best app for little kids. I think it's the safest one out of all of them.
I got the For You page is genius. It is absolutely genius because everyone has different stuff on their For You page. Like I got like workout stuff. I got like as like a Marvel fanatic myself. I got the comic book characters, that kind of stuff. Maybe a little Star Wars. My other side, sports stuff. But like Marc would have something like Rocky all over it. All these different movies.
And
like
and just hitting that niche as well.
Hitting the niche, and that's again, we can add that to why TikTok is so relevant right now because everyone has their own niche, and everyone is finding who they are through it, and they're getting shown who they are. And if you get shown who you are, you're going to be attracted to that, Yeah. But yeah, like I agree with you, man. I agree with you, Franco. I don't think it's harmful. I think it's one of the safest for children wise. I think it's one of the safest apps to have right now.
Exactly. But Franco, he's also a good looking guy. Maybe that's why he's getting views, and he's also an athlete. So you'd have to think that would help in the ladies department, right, Franco?
There you go.
I mean, that I got to be completely honest. Over here right now at this current state, I think that we don't have a lot of time to do a lot of that stuff. But I will say that being an athlete here definitely gives you more clout than being an athlete back home.
Interesting. Mitch, you were talking about Franco's looks over there, and you were saying he's looking not like that, obviously.
Like, what are you talking about, man?
Christ. But Franco, I'm going to ask, did it help you, like, at all when you initially came to NIACC? Not even just at NIACC, but in everywhere, that you were actually a collegiate athlete? And did being a collegiate athlete help at all with, like, your clout, per se, as a guy? And getting girls and attracting girls?
I want to say yes, but at this, like I mean, that's a tough topic because it's like, I guess playing a sport, it kind of gives you that extra edge over another person and all that. But at the same time, interaction wise, you don't have all that time to talk to people and make a lot of relationships, right? You know what it is. You wake up, work out, team breakfast, practice, class. It's just, that's how it, and it's the same schedule every day. And by the time you're back in your room, you're tired and you don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, I think what Mark was trying to say is when he was telling me about this, I was asking him, is it like some Blue Mountain State shit is on here? Like, you know,
not I mean, I'm not on a football team. It's not at this.
I know you're not on the football, but it's similar to baseball or no?
I would say at a bigger school, yes. At a bigger D1, it's kind of like that. But here, no, not so much.
No? Okay.
No.
All right, he's got his dorm, he's got everything there, and it's ready.
Yeah.
But also, I think another thing that people want to know is like, me and Franco sort of look similar right now, and we sort of like have sort of a similar look. And
Mark, are you guys the same background, maybe?
Oh, shut up, Mitch. You know, I was gonna go in a clever way into it, but you know, just gonna be a sarcastic.
Will be.
But hey, me and Franco are both Dominican Italian, and we're thinking Dominican Italian. How important do you think it is in having a culture and understanding your culture for like other girls to sort of, because when a girl meets you, me and Mitch were talking about this the other day. Girls love that type of stuff when they get to understand your culture and like they know like obviously Italian guys and they have the stereotypes of what an Italian guy is, but it's sort of almost endearing.
They care about your background. Every time you talk to someone, they're out to have a meaningful conversation, they always ask you, what's your background? If they don't know off the bat, they always need to know.
So do you think, Franco, that like having that mixed background almost helps at all or no?
I think it definitely helps. And I think backgrounds in general, it's like your own flavor. You know, that's what sets you for real. That's what sets you aside from other people, right? That's the one thing that people can't take away from you, right? You own up to it. You grew up with it. You're proud of it, right? And I think that if you embrace your background, it makes you look 110% better.
Exactly. I think one time, like, I get a lot when I'm on other, you know, dating apps, Tinder. I'm sliding in a couple DMs on Instagram. Whenever I see it, I'm usually like they see the flag and they don't know the flag. And the flag, as you said, it's like an intrigue level. It's like, what is that flag? I say Dominican Italian, and just saying it just sort of like gets it. What are you, Mitch? Mitch, what is your background?
What
you
is
always just say Canadian.
I'm like your like classic white boy. I got every single white boy background you got. I got 4 backgrounds, so I got every single one. I got French Canadian, which I think it's like Quebec with like there's some native in that, like 1/16 native or something like that. You got German, you got Scottish, and I do have a little Italian, a quarter Italian in me. So that's my background.
There we go.
Look at that. So he's got a little bit. He's like that Costco sampler section for all the
Call me a
Canadians up
Costco.
here.
Okay.
You know, going out that. But thanks, Franco. This has obviously been a great segment for what we're talking about. But before we move on into Open Book and Frankie's segment, I want to talk about something personally. I didn't discuss with Mitch. I didn't discuss with Franco, but I need to discuss something personally on this. And I'm going to have to.
What is it?
I'm going to have to publicly apologize. I repeat, publicly apologize. So in the last week, I was at Nona's house. I was having a nice dinner with Nona. And Nona watches the podcast. And Nona was very upset. I'm going to say Nona very, very upset. She had heard the dead plant rant. I don't know who showed it to her. I don't know why. Maybe mom was snaking. Maybe like somebody gave her the computer. She doesn't work too well with the digital media stuff, you know, the social media. But she saw that dead plant rant, and she pretty much said, Mark, you have to apologize to those girls. And you know what? I'm a nice guy. I'm going to say I apologize to those girls. I apologize. I did not mean anything I said. Nothing that I said was bad or meant to be bad in any way. That's all I have to say.
Okay, nice apology, Mark. Okay.
All right, thank you. But Frank the Tank, we want to get you back in. Frank the Tank, what's up, brother?
What is going on?
What do you think so far? This is Frank the Tank's thoughts.
Yo, Frankie, before you give us that, man, what was his apology, man? What do you think about that?
Man, I think that was the perfect time to do the classic Conor McGregor. I'd like to take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody. I think we should have gone with that. I feel like it would
Definitely.
I could have.
You know what? You got to listen to Nona. She always knows best. You know, if you want to be well fed, listening to Nona is the number one thing to do. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you got to be upfront with people. You got to say what they do. And I really believe you can't be fake. You can't be around the bush. Sometimes you need to call people out. And I think that's exactly what you did. And what they did warranted your response.
Thank you, Frankie. Thank you.
Apology. I'm going to back Marc up. I love Luna, but I'm going to back Marc up on this one.
Exactly. Thank you, Frankie. But what are your thoughts on Franco so far? We talked about a lot. The American pastime, baseball. We talked about TikTok, what's going on there, his account. We talked about, obviously, relationships, different cultures. What was your main takeaways?
So let me just start off by saying this. As you guys were talking, I opened my phone. I went on TikTok, and I quickly typed in FrancoBarbz, and I found I went all the way to the bottom, like, let me find his attendance TikTok. And I can honestly say that just talking about it doesn't do it justice. It's actually really funny. And I don't know who was recording it, but it completely added to it. It was really funny, and I'm surprised that it's not a challenge that is, like, taken off, because I'm going to go upstairs and try this because it just looks so cool. I think it's a really good TikTok.
Exactly. Mitch is watching it now. We got a live reaction.
When you say it like that, I want to watch it, man. Let me get a
live reaction.
Keep talking, Frankie. Let me find this.
I love the ones of you rocking the Italy jersey.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
But yeah, I think I agree for sure with the whole culture thing. I feel like, so that it adds like a little bit of flavor. Now, obviously, I'm not as exciting as a Dominican Italian, but I'm Italian, got a little Maltese in me.
Okay.
And I feel like who you are culturally is like speaks a lot to. Mitchell's just watching it.
I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna comment on it, bro. That's funny. That's actually pretty.
I actually got in trouble for that. I almost got in trouble for that. The principal, because the office is right there, right? And they don't like it when you're in the halls, no. So I came down. Principal comes out. He's like, "Did you just like run down the stairs?" Yeah.
Did I run? Yes.
I was like, yeah. And I caught it. He's like, "Threw that and you caught it." I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. And that was that. That was the end of that combo. So.
You gotta love it. But yeah. Frankie, we appreciate your thoughts as always. Always there. He's always our listener, our eyes and ears, making sure Marc doesn't say anything too bad, making sure, Marc doesn't get caught by the IRS.
I'm hearing a lot of Marc here. I'm hearing a lot of Marc here.
Oh, Mitch, of course. Mitch is Playboy over there. He never gets in trouble.
Okay, can we talk about this, man? You've said Playboy now on 4 straight episodes. Explain to me how I'm a Playboy.
I don't know, bro. With those washboard abs that you post on Instagram every 4 hours, I think that most of the people can assume that
once.
But then how many Snapchats will I get in a row of it? You know what I mean?
I have never snapped you anything.
You Snapchat Marc your abs? Like,
I don't.
It's a little sus.
That is 100% Marc. Why are you coming up with lies right now, man?
Mitch, I'll tell you what you're a little guilty of.
What?
You'll be showing me something on your phone, like in your camera roll, and then you'll swipe, and it'll be a picture of you shirtless in the mirror. You'll leave there, and then
that's progress photos.
Yeah.
That's progress photos. It's nothing else but progress photos.
Yeah. It's one of those like, I hope you didn't see that one. Yeah, for sure. So that's why I call you Playboy, Karens. But
But whoa. Why did you say I snap you shirtless pictures? That's completely.
It was for the story, man.
Marc's dreaming of those. Maybe.
Wow, Francesco. Now the next segment, I'm gonna get you back for that one.
You'll get him back if he chooses you, though.
If he chooses me, though. So
I got it, Marc. This is my segment.
Okay.
I got this segment, man. You better pick Marc, man. Franco, you better pick Marc.
Don't pressure the guest. Don't pressure the guest.
Don't worry. All right? Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into our open book segment. As I just said, this is my segment. I came up with this. This allows us to get more transparent with the guest, which I'm going to come off the bat and say we don't need that. You're pretty open. You're got the greatest vibe, man. You're killing it right now. Had a great podcast so far. So this should be a great segment here. For the viewers that have not watched it before, this is a part where the guest gets to ask the host, each one of us, it's not both, he gets to choose which one, and he gets to ask us any question he wants. It could be about relationships. It can be about sports. It can be about something personal, maybe a personal story that he knows about Marc. Who knows? Throw an idea out there. I don't know many, but I want to hear some. But it can be about anything. The only thing is, though, you got to be willing to have some of your dirty laundry come out as well, because whoever you choose, that host will ask you a question, not the same question, but a question in that vicinity. You know, it'll be that same thing. So if you ask about relationships, we'll ask you a relationship question right back. If we ask you just a stupid ass question about something, about sex, something, we'll ask you one same thing back, but it worded differently and a different opinion on it. All right.
Yeah, like, we don't say names. We don't like go too sexual into it, you know. But
Yeah,
we get
this
the
is
main
coming-
vibe of the story.
This is coming from the guy that in episode 5 said like episode 4. We all know who you were talking about. You apologize something, we all know. So
all right.
it's coming from you. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out there, right?
All right.
So now, Franco, right now, I have answered 3 questions from guests. Marc has answered 1.
No, 2. Alyssa and
Thomas. That's right. That's right. And Thomas Colburn. That's right. So, Franco, man, who you got, man? Who you gonna ask this question to?
We're gonna have to even it out here. Give Marc his 3rd question.
There we go, Marc. Get pumped, man. Get pumped. And also, I don't know if you guys saw, but last episode, this went unnoticed. I don't think anyone noticed this. When Amelia, Frankie's friend, asked me the question, Marc's face went like this. And he was just staring at the screen. And it went unnoticed. I was the only one that watched over and noticed it. I even sent it into our group chat, and no one even saw the group chat.
You got to timestamp it. You got to timestamp it so they go back to that episode.
We're timestamping that, man, because I was like, what are you doing, Marc? Like,
all right.
Sorry, I just want to put that out there. Franco, you got your question, man.
All right, Marc Vicioso. What is the single worst experience you've had with a girl?
Oh, right.
Oh.
Right. All right.
Explain. I like to know. Explain experience, so Marc knows.
Experience. I think we're not going to.
Do you mean like any girl, or do you mean experience?
No.
Like any type of situation that happened.
All right. I'll throw it back. I'll throw it back for all the guests here. You know, so we're talking grade 10. Grade 10 we're talking about.
Going way back.
Actually, okay, we'll go with grade 10 because that is the worst.
All right.
Because the second time is definitely the worst. But for context, I'm not going to go too in-depth on the situation.
As no could be watching. I'm just making
sure. There may be somebody watching. But let's just put it this way. There was a party of sorts. Grade 10. Marc had not gotten his first kiss yet.
That guy's face.
Marc had not gotten his first kiss. This is for context of the story for where it's going to be going. This is context. So, context. Grade 10, first kiss at this party. I see this girl. She sees me. One thing leads to another. We make out on the couch. All right, nothing too bad, you know? It could have been worse, could have been better, this and that. All right. Week after, she starts texting me bare time, talking about like family stuff, doing this and that, saying, yo, you got to go meet the family, you got to do this and that. I'm like, can't do that, you know? But the next week, I'm like, I got to go back into it. So then I hit her up again the next week. And then I completely cut it out, you know what I mean? Cut it out for the next 2 weeks. So then we're talking about the worst experience I had is when the next day, 2 years late, the next day, I'm like, I see her after that. I'm like, I'm not going to talk to her. So then we fast forward 2 years to another party of sorts. Not going to say where it was. Nobody will know where it was. 2 years later, I see this girl again, but she came back for revenge. She came back with a vengeance. So pretty much, I was cornered. I'm sitting down, drinking a couple beers here, eating my Doritos, doing this and that. And then all of a sudden, she comes and sits right on my lap.
Buddy, you got your nona here, man. I wish you could like that.
No, she'll bleep that out. Right on that. And I was like, Christ. So I was like, okay, something's got to be. I'm like, whoever your name is, we're not doing this today. We're not doing that. We know, like, it's got to stop. We're not going to do that today. So she's like, all right, say less. You know, like, we're going to do this today. Today is the day. Today's the day. So I'm like, get out of here, you know? So I leave, and then it sort of turns into more of a funny experience as in I get my friend there, and then he goes in and he secures that bag. I tell him to like pretty much sub him in, and he goes into that bag. That was the most awkward experience / worst experience that I've had.
That's your worst experience?
I'll say it for the podcast. Yes. Franco, would you agree?
Yes, I would say that was a very. I remember that vividly. Both days.
Were you the friend?
Oh, I was not. No, I was definitely not the friend. Definitely not the friend.
Definitely not.
All right, man. Okay.
So that's
All right,
my
Marc.
story. That's my story.
Marc.
If people know the story, I can't go in depth. You know what I mean? Don't want to shed any light on names. Said no names. Could be anybody.
Names, that's the rule. You know the rule, man. No names. But
There's no legally binding stuff here.
But Franco, man. Marc's got
I got a
question
question
for
right
you.
back. This is gonna be. It's a bit on the same topic, but a bit not. So Franco, do you have a Tinder site? Do you have Tinder? Do you have any dating app on your phone?
I did, yeah.
He used to have a dating app on his phone.
Yeah.
You've messaged girls before in your life, correct?
Yeah.
All right. You've slid into DMs before, correct?
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, would you say that it's okay, like, as a guy, as a man on this earth, is it okay to clearly state what you want, as in, I clearly want this to the girl before you start talking? Or is that considered sort of selfish / douchebag?
I think it would be worse if you don't disclose it until after. I think that would be the best answer to that.
But why would that be?
Because then you're leading them on to think of it being more, when in reality those weren't your intentions, and then it's just a way stickier situation. So if you're gonna disclose it at the beginning.
So you'd say no, like, even if you're in that
Yeah,
sort
I
of
think what Marc's
mindset
saying
already?
here is like, you just matched with a girl, like just matched. You press that
Just
message
matched.
button. The first thing you says is what you want to do, basically. Is that something you would
Exactly.
do?
Why are there those common courtesies that, like, hey, how's your day? Where you're from? This and that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I got my
Well, yeah,
reasons.
you gotta introduce yourself. That's like anything. You gotta introduce yourself. But what I'm saying is, like, when it comes down to that part, you gotta make sure, like, it's all on the table. Like, you know what you're doing and she knows what she's doing.
Well, here's a fact about being on Tinder. You all should know what you're doing being on Tinder. You should know. You should know. And if you're not on there for that, you should get off it. Like, that's just how
I guess at the same time, but then at the same time, when you look at it from a girl's perspective, like, obviously they're gonna want you to message first, and then once you message first, let's say they're having a good conversation, that sort of like becomes their ammo as to why, quote unquote, men ain't shit, because then they'll have that conversation, you'll lead them, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? And then you say, yo, let's do this right now. You know what I mean? Does that sort of, like, Frankie Ieantorno, what are your thoughts on this? I know you obviously have a girlfriend. You're out of the game. You're out of free agency. You signed a long-term deal. And
the max contract.
Is it okay? Like, isn't that sort of also a bad move to make by thus saying, leading her on saying, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? And then telling her that, like, I was only in it for one thing?
Well, I think especially on Tinder and a dating app, really, you don't know if the person is even real, first of all, and if the person is a complete creep or who the person is. So I think no matter what the intention is, you kind of got to say, like, hi, my name is Frankie. I'm this age. This is where I'm from. Just so that the person on the other end can have that sense of mind as, okay, this is who this person is. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Like,
I feel like that's important.
No.
And I feel like you kind of got to feel it out. Like, see what the vibe is at first. Like, if you could tell that, like, where it's going, and, like, that this is not going to turn into a relationship. This is just going to be, whatever. I don't want to have to make my life editing this even harder. But a quick, and get out. Then that's one thing. And I feel like for both people, it's just easier if you don't play any games. You just kind of be upfront with what it's about. But I think especially if one person is there looking for a relationship, you kind of have to give them that disclaimer that, look, I'm not into this. Because everyone's on dating apps and hookup apps for different reasons, really, right? So
there's also continue, Frankie.
Yeah, I just feel like it's common courtesy to, well, first off, introduce yourself and tell the person who you are, no matter what it is, and then.
So, yeah, I want to I'll say my part in here. A couple things. One, Franco was right about the first thing is like, do not hold it back. That's the worst thing you can do. No matter anything. We're not just talking about Tinder. We're not talking about anything else. To hold back any kind of thing, relationship with whatever, not giving the full meaning of what you two are, worst thing to do. That's off the bat. Not just on Tinder, everything. Put that out there. Second thing is, when you're talking to a girl, when you don't say, hey, my name, how are you, what's up, that's just common respect and courtesy, you know? If you went straight to, like, not even like a pickup line, just let's sorry, Frankie.
Not saying.
Yeah,
My bad. But if you go straight to that, I don't think, and I don't think that's the way to go. That's just my opinion. There's no kind of like, I'm not gonna say like you're treating women like what, like a piece of meat or something like that. I'm not trying to say that, but
exactly.
But like, you just have some kind of common courtesy, you know? That's just the thing. I think that's why you're saying. But Mark, I got a question. Have you ever done that then? Is that why you brought up the question?
No. This isn't going to turn into a intervention on if Mark treats girls like pieces of meat. This is not what it is. Mark treats girls with every ounce of respect that Mark has. What Mark is trying to say here, and I think with the Tinder thing, you're right. Tinder, you go in and set security. Hey, how are you? Security, this and that. But I feel like where the guys get in trouble sometimes is when they're not on Tinder, when they go into the straight DM shot. The DM shot is much different than the Tinder shot.
That's you,
The
Mark.
DM shot, you almost have your reputation on the line. Because when you DM a girl, it's going to be your account. You know what I mean? Girl screenshots you on Tinder. It's like, it was Tinder. Girl screenshots you on Instagram. You're like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
More personal.
So one thing about saying like, you could easily be made to look like an asshole in your Instagram DM. And that's sort of where I say, sort of being blunt sometimes, it doesn't always work out. Would you agree with that, Franco?
Yeah, I would. I think that you got to be very careful with what you say because she's not the only one reading it. You're going to screenshot it.
When one girl reads it, you already got to account to at least 5 other girls in her friend group have seen it at least 7 times.
The group
That's
chat.
right. They're spilling the tea to each other. That's how it works.
Exactly.
That's how. Well, let's say something here, Mark. You don't tell me you do the same thing.
Obviously, but like I feel like girls, and especially because me and Franco are friends with a little shout out here, all our friends are very open and honest with each other. So I feel like girls, like from what girls like to tell each other a lot, and they're very open. And it's sort of like there. But like if something goes like embarrassing wrong, like I'm not automatically gonna go on my phone and be like, Franco, it's like, yo, just messed up with the girl on Tinder. And then like, you know, it may not be like that. And there's different dynamics.
That's something I've done though.
I know it's what you have done, but not everybody does it, or not all the friends group. Because me and Mitch are like two brothers at this point.
Bro, we call it's the weirdest time when me and Mark talk. There's been times where it's 3 a.m. and he's just
don't even start with that story, Mitch. We all know what you're getting at.
Yeah,
there's been I'm not gonna say it, but there's times where like he's been on a date, and I know he's on a date, and he's calling me in the middle of the date. He's saying like, "Yo, Mitch,
all right,
right. I'm like, aren't you on a date right now?
Don't
like, yeah.
Don't need to air out the laundry right now.
I'm not. It's not airing out. I can say a lot more. Frankie knows the story, so I can
all right. Free Mitch. But Francesco Barbieri, we want to say thank you from all of TSB, myself, obviously Mitch, Frankie. Want to thank you for coming on. Give him a clap.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys.
Great episode, man. Great episode.
We love it. And Franco, any last words that you want to say? Any like, I don't know, you want to add something, you want to give something out, you know what I mean? Anything up in the woodwork?
I just want to say once again, thank you. I had a blast. It was great meeting you guys, Frankie, Mitch, and I just can't wait to see you guys again. Take it easy.
Bro, let us know when you're back in Toronto, man. And this coronavirus is done. We're gonna hang out, okay? Just put it there.
We'll make a motive.
Make a motive, exactly.
All right, that's great. This has been Do I Want to Know episode 7, and until next time.
There's Marc's outro.